Hello Game fan, the folks over at Thunderful have kindly sponsored this video, so let's tune in to the SteamWorld Telegraph Live. Okay, this is pretty decent production quality.
Hey barkeep, I'd like a water.
Up.
In a whiskey glass?
Whatever you want, John Wayne. Every time.
Excuse me. I couldn't help but notice it's a SteamWorld game you're playing there. Mm-hmm. Well, I've played all of the SteamWorld games. I actually helped make them, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, pretty cool. Do you want to know a secret about SteamWorld? Something that nobody knows anything about?
Sure.
Well, there's this story about this.
Great story, cowboy. Don't forget your hat.
I'll be right back. So, as I was saying. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to share the secret about SteamWorld. We're actually working on something new.
Oh? I've always liked the SteamWorld game, so anything new in their franchise is definitely one of interest.
Chef!
All right, folks, time to get to work.
Okay, so it looks like a city builder. Placing dirt roads. A train. Oh, this looks great. Mechanical bulls, okay. And of course an underground section where you can dig stuff, right? Okay, so it looks like excavating out the underground mines, I guess block by block. And are these enemies? Yep, tower defense. Wow, this game looks great. SteamWorld Build, okay. Coming 2022, PC, 2023, excuse me, to PC and consoles. Alright, so a new game in the franchise.
Welcome to SteamWorld Telegraph special broadcast.
The Wolves was Cowboy.
Next SteamWorld game, SteamWorld Build, which is coming to PC and all consoles later this year. SteamWorld is Thunderful's original series, and it was created right here in Gothenburg. This Swedish city was, and still is, an industrial town, traditionally known for its huge port and also the many factories that were built here, once some of the British investors came over during the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, so a little bit of a history lesson, and all these old school machines are pretty cool.
Relic from that era, the Gothenburg Remfabrik Textiles Museum. Back in the day, when this factory was fully functional, it was steam-powered, as were all factories in Gothenburg.
Hence SteamWorld, right?
And 1900s. This huge industrial significance of Gothenburg in Swedish history was highly influential when we gave birth to SteamWorld, as we wanted to create a series that kept the DNA of the place it was originally created in.
It's always nice to see developers injecting a little bit of their own culture and history into their games.
Before we dig further into SteamWorld Build, I wanted to quickly go over what SteamWorld is and share a couple of SteamWorld-related announcements
Some
too.
other announcements.
SteamWorld has always been about making the types of games we at Thunderful wanted to make, with a gameplay that excites us, and it's an IP that acts as a wrapper.
SteamWorld Dig 2, great game.
To add our own unique twist to it. SteamWorld began with SteamWorld Tower Defense, and then came an action-digging platformer with the first SteamWorld Dig. Then we tackled turn-based tactics with SteamWorld Heist. Dig 2 was our attempt at a full-blown Metroidvania, and with SteamWorld Quest, we gave deck-building
Yep,
RPG.
all great games. If you have not played them, please go check them out.
Every genre we decide to Steamify, we always strive to add unique elements and distill it down to its core essentials, with extremely tight gameplay and an accessible design. Bringing SteamWorld back and making it bigger and better than ever has been something we've been planning for years now. I've been working with Image and Form since the original game, SteamWorld Tower Defense, back in 2000.
Bring back.
SteamWorld Build is now the 6th mainline entry in the SteamWorld series. As our roster of studios increases in size, we of course have a lot of people wanting to bring their own ideas to the SteamWorld universe for their next project. So, as the series expands into new and exciting directions, I will be working with all of our development studios to ensure that the tone...
I believe they've announced a first-person shooter title named SteamWorld Headhunter or something like that. So maybe we'll get a look at this later on.
One of those directions. But we also have more SteamWorld games in development than ever before. Including Build, we're now working on 4.
4. Okay.
Back in the day, when we were a small team, we had to make...
The Thunderful group is like huge now.
What we wanted to do next.
They merged with Zoink Games and then they purchased a bunch of other studios.
Multiple studios, and it means we can do a lot more SteamWorld things.
Probably in the not-so-indie territory by now, but, you know, it's the spirit of things, I guess.
Show you more when the time is right. For SteamWorld fans around the world, SteamWorld Telegraph will be the new one-stop shop to get all the latest information on the series. Starting a little later this year, we will be introducing SteamWorld Telegraph as a smaller scale, community-focused show, which I will host.
Interesting.
We'll be able to do deep dives into specific SteamWorld news.
I thought it would be getting people to sign up to a newsletter or something, but it seems to be a video series and they're putting in a lot of production budget in it.
Today's special broadcast has been made to kick off the return of SteamWorld. As you look forward to hearing more about the debut of SteamWorld Telegraph, sign up to the SteamWorld newsletter.
Okay, there it is, the newsletter.
Media to be the first to know. For anyone wanting to catch up on the SteamWorld series, we have a SteamWorld franchise sale available right now on Steam, where you can purchase SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld Heist.
Okay, yep, definitely get on that if you don't, and pick up the missing titles that, you know, you haven't owned yet.
To SteamWorld Build. For anyone hoping to play SteamWorld Build before release, there's a free demo available today on Steam as part of the Steam Base Builder Fest.
Cool.
Now,
Go check it out, I
let's
guess.
learn more about SteamWorld Build and show you the game up and running. So we'll roll the trailer one more time and then meet you back here for some gameplay.
I don't know why they are playing the trailer again. Kinda strange, since they've already showed it.
I see it, the mine shaft.
All right, folks, time to get to work.
Alright, let's go through it once again if you can see anything that we've missed the first time around. So placing of roads is interesting. It's like more in line with the old school Pharaoh games. Pharaoh, Caesar, Emperor, Rise of the Middle Kingdom, that kind of stuff. And those of you that know me, I've mentioned Pharaoh many times on this channel since that was a game that I grew up playing. plenty of resources. You can look in the UI, the top bar, at the top, different types of worker units as well. And the enemies seems to be bugs, not like robots or anything like that. It's a burger shop, observatory, restaurant, a restaurant for robots. And of course the whole steampunk aesthetic, so the whole series and this game in particular looks awesome. So get a look at some gameplay now.
Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm now joined by two of the developers of SteamWorld Builds who represent our internal studio, The Station, which is located in Karlshamn here in Sweden. And with us we have Sofie Wikström, who is the art director.
Hello.
And Adam Vassé, who is the producer.
Hi.
So guys, there's a lot of lore to SteamWorld that's already established.
Why are his hands like that?
Along a timeline, if you like. Like this game leads to this game, and you learn something in this game that tells about that appears in that game, and so on. How does SteamWorld Build fit into the lore and the timeline?
Yeah, so this is actually a story about a father and his daughter trying to escape the dying Earth. So in SteamWorld Dig 2, in the end of
Spoilers.
a lot of rockets departing from the Earth when the Earth exploding, and our story is one of those rockets.
It's cool. So the SteamWorld franchise, it likes to take on new genres.
So it's somewhere being set in the same time as SteamWorld Dig 2?
A little bit about how the idea of a city builder came about.
So actually we always loved city builder games in our studio, and we were of course big fans of the SteamWorld series as well. So when we started to talk about the collaboration, a city building with the influences of the digging and the mining part of the dig games were something that we really wanted to do.
Could you mention like a few things that make SteamWorld Builds like truly unique?
Yeah, so initially we decided that we wanted to take two established game systems, so city building and basically resource managing and resource gathering, and create one cohesive experience.
Isn't that parts of the same genre, like the city building genre?
Having a baby with Dungeon Keeper, and we should be in the right ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct. But the challenge of that, of course, becomes making
Anno
the game
meets
that
Dungeon Keeper.
cohesive and also brings both those elements into play in one good way.
Yeah, exactly. It's always been about the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't mind mashing up genres.
They're still in that textile factory to filming, you know, an internal interview.
Good stuff and put it together and see what you come up with. So that's one thing. But another thing is the accessibility of the games. Like you say, I mean, like you're building a city, but you're also mining and gathering these resources. And I never feel that I'm leaving one to go into the other. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah.
That must have been difficult.
This duality thing seems interesting, especially the underground sections. So I guess most of the regular city builders are just all overworld, right?
You know, we wanted to do the digging, and everyone loved the idea of the old Dungeon Keeper games. So we figured, could we combine the two in a good way? But then we had to figure
Yep, so combining both layers is interesting.
out, does your actions in the mine feed into your actions in the city, and vice versa.
Right.
So we had to keep this constant flow. So that was the big thing to figure out. But of course, it's
Oh, there's a lot of resources right up top. And what, 8 types of worker units?
in the tunnels, and you're like, oh, nice. That means you can create spare parts.
Yeah.
That means that you
New rocket part found, there's a mini-map, train arrives.
go
Okay.
further in the mine. So
Yeah.
it all feeds on one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course you have to also think about optimizing your city and like how do I fulfill my inhabitants, and how do I make the best of my city planning to make it all efficient.
And I suppose you need to provide your workers or your residents with the resources that they want in order to improve your housing.
That poses a million questions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
yeah, it does.
because if you do a 2D game, it'll always look the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
always
just
good.
Yeah, it will always look exactly like you intended,
Yeah.
right?
There was a lot of challenges with that. First off, we wanted to make sure that we kept true to the original material.
Oh yeah, to have it full 3D versus, I guess, isometric with a rotating camera, it's quite a different look to the game, I guess.
Good in your game, so why change it?
And now that I think about it,
For the city, we had to always consider
all their earlier titles in this franchise are all 2D, right?
a lot. So we
Tower Defense, SteamWorld Dig 2, SteamWorld Quest, SteamWorld Heist. Yeah, they're all 2D games. So this is the first 3D entry in this series.
we had to think about silhouettes, colors, shapes, and humor.
Right.
Humor is important. So, for example, we have a restaurant called Le Gourmand, which is basically just a giant cloche that lifts up and down, and it has like some a knife and a fork that rotates. So it's
Right.
really easy to see from a distance what it is.
It actually took me a while to realize that, wait a minute, I can actually zoom in, like, and look at this.
Ooh.
And seamlessly, like suddenly, I'm looking at
cactus.
city planner. I'm building my city, and then you go in and you see the robots sort of walking along the streets, but also
It does look very nice
every building is its own character in the game.
and has a lot of character. Yep.
It's magnificent, and also when you get in close, you hear these things.
Yeah. We're gonna, pull in references where we can, where it's funny. That's always gonna happen. We have one level that has a cinema, that has a movie playing.
One level, so it's level based.
Like, intensely.
In the game,
Yeah, and then it says the good, the bad, and the rusty. On the sign. So, those sort of things. We also have.
Of course, a play on the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? In your classic Western movie.
On the ground that says beware, and then there's a Robo Shrek on the image. Stuff like that,
so there's one more thing that I feel
So plenty of personality and humor to the game.
makes it unique, because like when I've played City Builder,
Oh, this is the mining part. Some gel glue thing.
and it just is very natural. And then I've played also on my iPad, and I think, yeah, that works really well too. But SteamWorld Build, we're going out boldly here saying that it's coming to PC.
Oh right, it's on consoles for City Builder, which is not common. Interesting.
For everyone on all the platforms. So how do we do that the smoothest way possible? So we decided to, hey, let's make sure that we have playable builds every week, and that we design the UI and the interface so it would work equally well with a mouse and a keyboard or with a gamepad. And if it did not, then we wouldn't put it in. So that was one big thing, because we had this UI guy tied to the project, and so if he got instructions from Andreas, our game director, hey, I want to do this, and he could basically.
Okay, I guess console-focused City Builders can work. I believe Frostpunk is on consoles as well.
So when
Right.
we did our game test sessions, we had PC players and console players at the same time, and our developers got to feedback on how we felt on console and could, give good input. Like, this doesn't work, could we switch this button, etc.
And I think we could absolutely guarantee that all the players, no matter what platform you are playing on, will receive the same experience.
Okay, that's good.
As the PC version. So yeah, we're really proud of that.
People think I'm a PC elitist, but I'm not.
Yeah, such a delight.
In fact, the more platforms that indie games are on, the better, since the more people get to play it, developers get more money, they can continue to make their games, and more people can join the games, right?
Yeah. So
2023.
coming up to Gothenburg, like from Karlshamn.
2023 with no release date. It's still January, so there's plenty of time. So let's see when it comes out. I don't know if it will be an early access release or not.
Thanks a lot, guys, because I think you've pulled it off. It's really, really nice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, so to reiterate what we've shown you today, SteamWorld Build is coming to PC and all consoles.
Okay, so that's about it. Little bit of interviews with the devs, getting a bit more information, getting a bit more feel for the game.
SteamWorld games are available with huge discounts in the SteamWorld.
And the 4 new projects are interesting, of course.
Beyond SteamWorld Build, we have many more SteamWorld games coming, so look forward to hearing about those in the future. SteamWorld Telegraph will debut properly later this year at a smaller scale
Debut
as
properly.
our new community
Okay.
show that focuses on all things SteamWorld past, present, and future. In the meantime, follow us.
Well, if there are 4 games in the works, that means multiple studios working on different games, right?
about all SteamWorld news directly from us. And that's our show. Thanks for watching, and as always, we hope you have
a thunderful day.
Look
Sure.
forward to checking back in with you very soon. Bye for now.
Alright, so that's the broadcast.